Okay, okay. Okay, okay, yo. Alright, alright. Doing something new for the day, not the night. Just like to keep the peace, don't want to see any fight. So that's why I'm trying to bring people together with all of my might. Show them the way to stay out of the traps of the system and see the light. So what I'm going to talk about today is never retire from making money. Nothing about this is really funny because I can see so many people stuck in a mindset of like, I gotta work till I'm, whatever age, or maybe till I save up X amount of dollars, or this and that, and then I stop working and then I just like, live off that for the rest of my life. And hey, if that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to show you that there's another way than that. So, gonna look at how to change the way that most people are conditioned to think about retirement. Look at looking at what causes people to want to retire in the first place, how to avoid that kind of lifestyle. Looking at how to find the right kind of situation to where you can keep doing what you love and making money for the rest of your life. Looking at kind of the current state of the majority of Americans right now, kind of where they sit as far as retirement goes, as far as money goes. Getting into passive income a little bit on this topic. Flowing on to some investing advice. Kind of wrapping it all up with like how this applies to the law of attraction. And then really just gonna talk about how to just keep improving, keep getting better, keep staying on track towards where you want to be and not fall into these traps and where they want to see you at. So, looking at my own personal experience, I wasn't always a entrepreneur, or I guess I could say I didn't always consider myself an entrepreneur, even though looking back before I even thought about business, anything like that, I can see things in my life where I was, had entrepreneurial traits. And, at the same time, I look at, well, my parents worked their ass off on a farm and everything like that. But, their parents owned the farm. So at the end of the day, they were basically entrepreneurs. They didn't work for somebody else. I mean, in a way they did, they worked for like whoever was like paying them whatever amount of money for the commodities they were selling. But, at the end of the day, they were really in charge of when they worked, how much work they got done, what direction they were trying to take their farm business and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, looking at it, I didn't really see that until I really got older and looked back into it. But yeah, I mean, I'm totally in that mindset now and I understand it a lot better. However, once my parents grew up, once they left that farm, they are totally like a working mentality. Like you just got to work hard every day and then everything's going to be all right. So what did they do? They went and got jobs. They moved out to the city and got jobs. And I remember growing up, they just worked all the time, man. Like they were always gone, always working. And one big thing I learned from that is like, man, it's much better to have your family around than have money. But fortunately for me, I grew up in a neighborhood with a lot of people my age and a lot of other people around. So it was always at least somebody out to watch out for us. And even though we were just running around the street and everything doing what we wanted, at the end of the day, it was always somebody's parents that were home, and everybody kind of kept track of everybody like that, which, I was fortunate in that respect, but a lot of people aren't. A lot of people grow up, by themselves, stuck in a house while their parents are at work, shipped off to some kind of like daycare, something like that, people they don't even know, that kind of thing. Like, a lot of people don't have a choice, and I'm not trying to say like this is bad, because a lot of people, this is what you're taught to do. This is kind of what the system teaches you to do. But really, at the end of the day, like there's another way. So, getting on to more about what I'm trying to say is really I don't ever see myself wanting to retire. Like the stuff I'm focused on, the stuff I'm trying to do as far as work goes, Like that's I'm gonna do that as long as I'm alive. Like if I woke up and like didn't, have any work to do, I mean that's not even a thing because every day I wake up like I know what I want to do. Like I got 100 things I want to get done, and I never really get done everything I'm trying to get done every day. But that's okay because I'd rather like have it like that than having a bunch of time every day where I don't know what to do with myself and just sitting in front of the TV or something else. So what I'm trying to say really is like it's like really a mental transition, right? And there's a mindset of like security in a job. Like a job's gonna get you to where you want to be. Working for somebody else, they're gonna pay you. You can like move up the ladder, like all that kind of stuff. Like, and then there's another mindset that's like well, you have a job, maybe two jobs. You're spending all your time working for somebody else. For one thing, whatever you're bringing in for that business, you're probably only getting paid like at most a third of that. So let's say you're getting paid $20 an hour. You're probably bringing the business in anywhere from like $100 to $300 an hour. Uh, Having a mindset like working on somebody else's goals and dreams, because at the end of the day, you're doing what you're told to be do. Like if you have your own vision of what you want to achieve with your life or your business or anything really, like if you just stay focused on that and get rid of all the negative influences that are going to tell you that it's not possible, whether it's your own mind or whether it's other people around you, and you just do a little bit every day, that's all you need to do. I mean, it'll work out. And if you have that mindset, I feel like it's very uplifting. It's very freeing. Like there's a sense of freedom that comes with that mindset that you don't have with like the traditional, what you're taught in school is go to college, get student loans so you can get a job so you can pay those loans back. And if you go to college, you're going to get a good job so you can make a lot of money. And if you don't, you're going to be like, 9 to 5 for like minimum wage for the rest of your life. Well, another way to look at it too is like, you have one or two jobs, that's one or two sources of income. Your boss is going to tell you, whoever's above you is going to tell you for the most part how much you can make, unless you're in sales, but still they're going to give you a percentage of, they're going to set that percentage of what you're making. Another way to look at it is when you are self-employed, you're working towards your own goals and dreams. And to me, like everything aside, the money aside, everything else, I mean, like, what's life if you're not pursuing what's important to you? What's life? What's the point of living really if you're just like going someplace every day doing what you're told so that you're working on like someone else's goal, whoever owns that company, whatever. You're basically working towards their goals and dreams. So yeah, when you first make this transition, and when I first made this transition, it was really weird at first. And I've even kind of like gone through this process. I'm talking through you guys now with some of my friends, and over time, a few of them have I've just seen when it's clicked for them, and they went and quit their jobs, and they were way more successful, way quicker than they thought they could ever be, and it just all came down to a shift in mindset. And for me at first too, it was like that first 6 months to a year of doing this, like I was really like doubting, like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Everybody I talked to about what I was trying to do, for the most part, because everybody I talked to about it worked jobs, had that other mindset that I used to have, and all these people were telling me like this is never gonna work. You just need to get a job. You're wasting your time with this. You're never gonna like make it anywhere with this kind of stuff. And within 6 months to a year, I had already built up an income way more than I would have made at any kind of like not even a minimum wage job, but like a salary job for the most part, like an entry level salary job. You're like, yeah, I mean, and a couple years later, it took about 3 or 4 years really for those same people around me that were saying it wasn't going to happen before they started saying stuff like, yeah, I'm proud of you. I knew you could do it and all that stuff. And I'm just like, hey, don't you remember when I first started when you were saying, like this wasn't going to work? But, I'm not trying to like shame these people like that. That's just kind of how it is. That's just kind of like the mindset. So, yeah, and going really to like my own future or where I want to be is I'm really trying to build up like my business and everything, and like to a point, all the businesses I have, everything I do, the end goal, I really want to, keep these businesses going for the most part and keep bringing messages and like help educating people and providing people value. But I also want to be to a point where like I can invest in other businesses and help other people build their businesses up. Kind of like a venture capitalist, basically. So, getting into it, just real quick again, get a preview the thought for the day is you need to change your way of conditioned thinking, about retirement in general, the kind of work life that is going to motivate you to want to keep working, want to keep making money, making income, for the rest of your life, not just like till a certain age. Looking at kind of like the current state of retirement and monetary situations for most Americans. Looking at investing versus saving, looking at the law of attraction and how it ties into it, and looking at how to just some like tips to stay on this path, how to change your mindset about this kind of stuff. So long introduction today, I know, but it's okay. So I'm just gonna get into it right now. All right. So the first point I want to make is you need to change your way of conditioning around working, around retirement, around all that kind of stuff. Uh, you know, no more of this. I'm gonna get a job and work till I'm old enough to collect retirement benefits, so I can just sit on the beach all day, or quit working and basically watch TV, whatever. Uh, in the first place, work should be fun, and it should be fun, and you should enjoy yourself to the point where you don't ever want to quit what you're doing. If whatever you're doing for work is something where you want to quit one day so you can do nothing, I mean that doesn't sound like it could be very much fun. I would say think of what you like. That's another topic for another video for another day, but look into what you really want to do, and try to find a way that you can make money off of that, trying to find a way that you can start building income off of what you like and what you enjoy. So even if you do straight up just when you're old just want to just do nothing, and you just want to be able to just like relax every single day and just hang out with your family, whatever, I mean that's still okay. But the traditional way of like getting retirement benefits and saving up and all that kind of stuff, that's not going to serve you as well as if you start creating businesses or streams of passive income that are going to be there forever, so that you're always going to be getting checks from like multiple sources. So if you think about it, really, like, look at the most like successful entrepreneurs, look at the most successful business people. They don't retire really. Like they're always like working on something, whether it's collaborating with people and helping people and teaching people what they learned, or whether it's just making sure their business is still running right, like managing it. They're probably not putting in as much work as they did when they were younger, but I mean they're still spending their time like working towards something. Like look at Bill Gates, right? Like that man created like technology that the world had never really seen before and changed the world in so many positive ways, right? And even after he stopped working for IBM, like he's working for a charity, but he's still working, and that's what he wants to do. Him and his wife are helping people all over the world. And that to him it's probably not work. Like he enjoys what he's doing. Like he doesn't see it as work. He sees it as like, how can I help people, and getting probably some kind of like benefit from knowing that he's helped a lot of people. So really, like, there's so many different ways. Like, it's not really working if you like what you're doing, basically. And work shouldn't, drain your energy or wear you out, make you feel like you got to drink at the end of the day, or sit in front of the TV, or have you super stressed out and all that stuff. If that's going on with whatever you're doing for work, you need to take another look at what you're doing. Next topic. So from what I understand, really, like, you know, most people would think that Americans are the richest people. There is, probably more millionaires in America than any other country in the world, stuff like that. But at the same time, most Americans are poor. From what I understand, like over half of Americans, don't have more than like a couple $1,000s in their savings account. They're not really saving much for retirement. I mean, for the most part, a lot of people are in debt. And I really noticed too, this is like kind of another topic, but I really noticed that with the economy, when, what was it, like 2 or 3 years ago, when things changed with the government, that all of a sudden everybody was getting offers for loans and everything. From what I understand, there were regulations set up that made it, basically because of the 2008 financial crash, that banks had to be a lot more careful with the loans that they were giving out to people. They couldn't just like, give out loans to people that probably couldn't pay it back. Well, those regulations got taken out, and I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's like loan offers in your email inbox with spam, and there's all kinds of like spam mail that you're getting every day talking about like, here's this new credit card, here's an increase in the limit, here's a new loan, all this kind of stuff, right? Well, most people, like, those loans are set up to trick people. Most people end up not being able to pay that back. Most people end up in debt their whole lives, right? So you want to be in the situation where you're making passive income. You want to be in a situation where you're not in debt. This is just kind of going off on another topic, so I'm going to get back to the retirement type thing. So, passive income. Passive income will make you money forever for the most part. I mean, it is possible to lose a stream of passive income. I've maybe had like, at my best had like 7 different streams of passive income up. My worst had like, well, when I first started, I had just like 1 or 2. And I've had certain streams of passive income come and go. But for the most part, like, I realize now that if something does happen to where, let's say I have 5 streams of passive income and I lose one, that it's no big deal. And it's actually like when one door is closed, many more are open, because every time that has happened to me, it has caused me to go out and find new ways to make new streams of income. And what starts out as like an initial loss of income, a few months later turns into a situation where I'm making more than I even did before, and I have more sources of passive income. So just keep that in mind with passive income. It's like you can make money for the rest of your life. You want to have multiple sources of it. So, looking at investing. Investing is way better than saving for retirement. As long as you're keeping making passive income, you want to keep investing it. And that's another thing too, is most people, like, they work their whole lives to make money for retirement, and then they give their money to someone else to manage it, to make decisions for them. Now, I don't know about you, but with me, if I worked my whole life for the money that I have, I would think it's pretty damn important to go and actually do my own research, figure out how to invest it on my own, and not have to rely on somebody else to control my money. Like, it's my money. I mean, I worked my whole life for it. Why would I want to give it to somebody else to run, and then they're making a profit off it? That's kind of how the general, I feel like, mindset of people is. But that's something that can change over time. Like, it's a cultural thing, just like retirement, just like working for somebody else, just like working 60 hours a week, just like having an extra job to pay off debt. All this stuff is like a cultural, like, mindset. Like, that's what you're supposed to do when this type of thing happens. Yeah. So you don't need to quit your job to start making passive income. You can just start with like one source of passive income a year. Just maybe put in like an hour a day, maybe like 5 days a week, and you'd be surprised, like, over the course of a year or two. I mean, if you're not making money, you're doing something that long and you're not making anything of it, you might want to look into something else and just keep trying different things. But really, like, I think most of the people I've seen, like, they're super surprised how quick they're able to make things work out once they start working for themselves. And be really careful about, once you make this decision that you're going to change your mindset around, that you're going to, stop working for other people, start working towards your own goals and dreams, start taking more control over your finances, stuff like that. Be really careful about the people you tell. If you talk to people who have not done what you've done, who are still in that old mindset, who are still working at jobs, I mean, I've been through this. I've seen so many people go through this. I've seen so many people like give up on their dreams and stuff over this. Is people are gonna tell you, that's never gonna work out because it didn't work out for them because they never did it. There's a lot more to that, like psychologically, like crabs in a bucket type thinking. But I'm not trying to get into all that right now. I'm just saying, like, just be conscious about like who you talk to about your plans when it comes to going off on your own, or even, I mean, you don't have to be on your own. Don't look at it like that. Look at it as like collaborating with other people to do what you want to do. So, this really plays into the whole like law of attraction thing, because like, so many people I see that have jobs, they get back from their job, and what do? They complain. They complain about their job, they complain about their work, and if that's where your mind is at, you're just going to keep continuing to see more of the stuff you don't want to see. And when you're working on something you're passionate about, when you're working on something you love, and you love what you do every day, it's the opposite. You're going to build more momentum that's positive. You're going to be thinking more about like the goals you're going to reach, where you're going to be, like how you're helping people, and that's going to like provide like positive emotions, and it's going to get you more pumped and just make you better at what you do. So really just, stay focused on how to keep improving your work so it's more fun and it helps more people. Don't focus on what you have to do or how much money you have to make to stop working. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would you want to do something just so you can make money so that you can do nothing with the rest of your life? Like, really? So I'm gonna pretty much end it on this note right here. Set higher goals. The first thing I really think about is like what got me thinking like this was one of my mentors that I've never met, but I've listened to a lot of his like videos and audio cassettes, YouTube videos, stuff like that, is Les Brown. Les Brown's a motivational speaker, successful business person. And his quote, what he says is shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you will still land with the stars. Another thing he says is, I don't have the quote right in front of me, but something along the lines of most people in life aim low and hit. They don't aim high and miss. And it's way, way better to aim high and miss than to aim low and hit. So I'm going to leave it off with that. That's about it for the day. Till next time, and I have something new to say. If you like what I said, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and leave any comments, anything you want me to, elaborate on, any other topics you'd like me to talk about. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you can know when a new video comes out. Also, I've got a link for the Discord group. Just got it set up. Gonna go and organize it a little bit more, create some categories in there so it's more organized about information that I'll be putting out on there, and people can collaborate about what they're working on and everything like that. It's free to join right now. That's it for the day. Thanks for your time. Hopefully you benefited off of this. Hopefully you got some value off of this, and I'm out.